Sighisoara, Romania.
This is why you drive, why you go on a road trip, because you find some beautiful, beautiful things.
Even some Romanians haven't heard of. Look at it, it's incredible. Look at the colour of that. Classy as always. To Sighisoara.
This beautiful, colourful street.
Narok.
The Transylvanian beer, I'm putting it in the book because it is the best. They have a hot tub.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
Overlooking the old town.
Narok. Good morning guys from Kalnoki Guesthouse here in Sighisoara, Romania. If you haven't been watching our videos, we are currently on an 8-day road trip with our friends Vlad and Georgiana from Romanian Thrills, and we have so much to show you. I'm gonna get my breakfast in the cutest little guest house cottage. I don't even know how you would describe it. It feels like a fairy tale.
That breakfast was so good. You can't really get much fresher than in a look at this. In this local village, you've got people coming past in their little tractors, but the zaguska is so good. It's like essentially like peppers, tomatoes, all made into like a relish. It is delicious, just what we needed. But we are leaving Sighisoara, I'm gonna say Sighisoara, and we are actually heading first of all today for our first stop to check out some volcanoes, some lakes, just the pure nature of Transylvania.
We were only 5 minutes into our journey on a gorgeous, gorgeous road alongside, I suppose it's like a lake, a river, and we've come to a roadblock of a couple of puddles. So we're gonna have to turn around, reroute. Oh, I don't think those birds like the fact that I'm talking to the camera. We're gonna have to turn around and reroute, and it will probably take us a little bit longer to get to Racos, but this is beautiful. Look at this. This is why you drive, why you go on a road trip, because you find some beautiful, beautiful things.
After our slight little detour because of the roadblock, we have made it to Racos, which is a tiny little village that is absolutely spoiled with attractions. It's somewhere that I'd never heard of, even some Romanians haven't heard of. But we are starting in the Bethlen fortress castle, whatever you want to call it, and it's actually been newly restored and it's really impressive. We're actually the only ones in here.
So the fortress is not the reason at all that you would come to Racos. It's actually because it has some crazy natural phenomenons here, like a beautiful lake and a volcanic crater, or a volcano crater. Is that what they're called? Volcano crater?
It's dormant, I think.
Yeah, hopefully.
How cool is this place? Romania is full of these natural phenomena. Look at it, Emerald Lake it is known as, and you can see why. Apparently you used to be able to swim, but it's becoming more and more popular because of the colour of it, and now you are not, and I wouldn't like to, it is a little bit chilly, but it's just beautiful. It's so peaceful. You've got the pine trees,
It's
you've
so
got, like,
quiet.
the cliffs coming down, and like you can see where it's eroded into the lake. So during the communist era, it was actually a stone quarry here, and over the years it's just filled up with like rainwater and things like that, and the vegetation has caused this. Look at it, it's incredible. Look at the colour of that. It looks edited, the colour is unbelievable. This emerald green, it's just nice to just chill out here, sit down and take it all in. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we're going to be able to see the crater of the volcano because they are filming a new TV show or film. So if you want to see that, I think the best thing to do would be to check out the TV show or film that's being filmed there.
So we just grabbed on the side of the road on a little pop-up stall, I suppose you could say, a langosh, which is a deep fried flatbread. Wow, it's hot. And we have cheese and sour cream, which is basically traditional in this region, in Transylvania, and it looks amazing. It kind of smells...
Obviously they're Hungarian, but with the influence in Transylvania, they've become really, really popular.
Oh my god, there's cheese everywhere. How do you eat it? Did they say?
Break a bit off, or I reckon just take a big bite. Classy as always.
Oh wow. It's really strange because you'd expect the dough to be like sugary, but it's not. I like the cheese and sour cream. I'm gonna eat this as quickly as possible because we have an hour long until our next destination of Sighisoara.
Sun has finally come out for us and we have made it to Sighisoara. I'm currently in like the new town. It's really nice, like multicolored buildings, but we're walking up into the old town, which is actually the best preserved citadel here in the country, well, at least in Transylvania. It's just so pretty. There's so many nice bars, restaurants. Oh my god, this is lovely. How pretty is this town?
It's like a postcard, isn't it? It's like picture perfect. But you know, with all old towns, as you're leading up to them, it's always the uneven cobbled streets.
Hills, your old favourite.
Cool buildings and the hills. Yeah, I'm out of breath, especially after that langosh.
That has got to be the coolest entrance into an old town ever. You come past 3 gates that had like 3 walls to penetrate to get into this place, and then you have like the clock tower, the lookout tower that dates back to around the 16th century with the Transylvanian Saxons, but the architecture today sort of dates back to around the 18th century, so you have a 200-year-old clock tower. It is really, really impressive. I love how old it still looks. Is this not the coolest street in the world? If you could live anywhere, any road, this has to be it.
Wrong question. It would be, which house do you think I would live in?
Well, I'd rather a blue one, but it's giving me complete like Colombia, South America, Latino vibes.
It is honestly beautiful, and actually there is a reason behind the madness, I suppose you could say, and that is because back hundreds of years ago, the craftsmen would have a specific colour to their house. So if you were...
So what was pink?
Pink, I think, was like a tailor, something like that, to do with like clothes. But you obviously, if you were another sort of craftsman, like to do with iron or something, you might have like a brown coloured house. But nowadays it's just evolved, you know, it evolves over years, and now we have this beautiful, colourful street.
So Vlad was just telling me that the tower that you'll see behind me there was actually the same size as the tower at the other entrance that we took, but back in like the 1800s, people were guarding it, they were working there, they maybe had a little bit too much to drink, and obviously they wanted to have a cigarette, like you do, maybe if you've had one too many drinks, but this was in a building that had gunpowder. Bit drunk, light your cigarette, the rest really was history. Vlad is just full of the random facts. The historical facts, but then he just pulls out the random facts like this behind us.
Like the pigeon house we see right over here is just one of the few places in Romania where people are still training pigeons for sports events. I don't know exactly in English what is that called.
Basically a pigeon trainer, I suppose.
Yeah,
I mean, you could have a beer, put a bet on a pigeon, have a race.
I don't think the neighbors downstairs are very happy because they're very well fed. They need to be in order to be trained.
So you gotta watch your head.
But it's always nice when we walk around, we admire the pigeon, and I think they got some medals and awards in the sports events they participate in.
Not only Romania's, but the world's best pigeon.
old friend. The stairs, they were extremely steep. I couldn't count them, but they were in steps of 6, and basically the stairway leads to the massive church on the very top of the old town, or on the citadel, with also schools, hence why one of the streets is called School Street. And you would have a 6-day working week with many hours. It was like 6 AM till 6 PM. I totally couldn't do it. I can barely even get up those long stairs, but this is so cool. The reason we came up here is basically the church is the first building here in the old town, so it's pretty iconic.
The views from up here are absolutely incredible, by the way. It's sort of like a contrast, right? You're in the old town, the first building of the old town, and you overlook the new town. But we've got to go back down the fancy covered stairwell because that main square is calling me, and I definitely, well, all 3 of us definitely need a beer.
That's
No rock.
no rock.
No rock. You have to look in everyone's eyes, remember that. We've come into Casa Kun.
Yeah?
Best pronunciation. It's on the main square, and we have the weirdest cups ever for a draft beer.
It's a Transylvanian.
It's a Transylvanian draft beer. So are we going to turn into Dracula?
I'm not so sure. Well, it's needed after that hike up to the church and back.
Wow, that is nice. Really nice. It's locally.
It's fresh.
Local?
Yeah, just a few miles away from here.
Wow. That was possibly the best beer we have ever had, a Transylvanian beer. I'm putting it in the books, it is the best. And actually on the way back, we saw Dracula. Well, we're gonna say that it's basically Dracula's dad's house, and there's speculation that he was born here. Take that as you will, but we need to show you where we are staying. This place
Oh my god.
Absolutely unbelievable.
It's our own little cottage, tiny home.
We have the most gorgeous little deck chairs out the front. It's so amazing, but hang on, we've got to come in. We even have chairs here. So we can
just sit out,
look over into the old town, and actually we're called The Nest. So welcome to The Nest. It is so cute. It's a tiny home. We have our table and chairs, our little seating area. They've even given us palinka.
Oh my god.
We will save that for later. We have a little coffee machine. We have our bed.
Oh, the bed looks so nice.
And some little steps up to the next bed. I'm assuming that's why it's called a nest. And we have a little sink here. This is all at Kasama village, up in kind of like the hills of away from the old town here in Sighisoara. But they have one thing that we need to check out.
We have to get changed really quickly.
Into a bikini, so I don't know if that gives you any clues. So this is why we had to get changed into our, what did you even say, into our bikini, into our trunks, because they have a hot tub.
Oh my god, this is so cool.
Overlooking the old town, we can watch the sunset. It's kind of like a really old, well, not an old school hot tub, but it kind of feels like a well. This is what you would have.
It's being heated up by log and fire.
We've got smoke coming out here.
And you literally right there is the old town. This is
heaven.
Too much. You're blowing us away. To make things even better, Vlad has bought the beers. Thank you. Actually, I'm gonna have the cherry, I think. That's for me, but you can hold that.
Thank you.
Let's just open them up as well.
Oh.
Just don't get it in the water.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hold on, let's cheers.
No rock.
No rock. No rock.
No rock.
How perfect is this? We have the most amazing sunset, but Vlad is definitely a bad example on us, because we now have really bad influence. We now have some morata, which is like a blackberry liqueur. It smells really good, but look at this sunset. This is just perfect.
Get it down, you. No rock. This is quite thick. Life doesn't get much better than Transylvanian food in a hot tub. Like, what? We have, okay, ignore the chips. We're not gonna call them typical for this region, but we do have Mitch, which we absolutely love. We have some pork meat, some chicken, some special sausages.
All in a hot tub at like 11 o'clock at night. It doesn't get any better than this.
11 o'clock at night. I don't know if this is a bit weird or if this is just life, how it's meant to be.
Good morning from my hammock in the mountains of Sighisoara. Oh my god, Romania. Last night we stayed in that hot tub for forever. We ordered our food, we had some amazing Mitch. I actually tried this like pizza dessert for the first time, a Romanian traditional dessert with cherries. It was really good, and like some sweet cheese. It was unbelievable. But it has been another incredible day exploring Romania, from Racos and the Emerald Lake in the morning to the old medieval citadel of Sighisoara, and then beautiful multicolored buildings. I just don't want this to end. Like, I'm just sitting on a mountain, chilling in my hammock, nearly falling off it. But it's just, this country, it really is blowing us away. We have to thank again our friends Vlad and Georgiana from Romania Thrills. They really have made this so special, and we're not even halfway through yet. We have so much more left to go in this amazing country. We have so much left of this trip, of this tour. Just so excited to show you everything Romania has to offer. So I'll see you in the next one, exploring more of Romania.